Hey Brick fans, welcome back to the Brick Bakery, where all our jokes are half baked. I'm Jacob and today it's time for an update from my Lego city. Today I thought I would put in a small street market in my Lego city. For those of you who have followed my project about my Lego harbor for the last 4 or 5 videos, you'll know that there's a barren spot still, an empty spot where I can put in something, and I thought a small marketplace might be a great idea. But before I get to that, I would like to tell you guys that I have recently submitted an entry into a Lego Ideas competition. When I heard that the theme for this Lego Ideas contest was music, I immediately knew I had to submit an entry. So that's what I did. And if you like it, please head over to the Lego Ideas website and maybe drop a comment on my entry. It would be wonderful to have your support over there as well. But without further ado, let's get on with today's project in Bakersville. Welcome back to Bakersville, everybody. It's always great to see you folks over here, and I have really been looking forward to making this city update. Right here you can see the lighthouse that I put in last time, and I've gotten some great suggestions for how I could make some changes for it. One comment on my website www.brickbakery.fun did suggest that I change the stairs. So instead of this wooden set of stairs, it was suggested that I add some stairs that's cut in to the cliffside instead. And that's not a bad idea, especially because I think that'll take up a little less room, and you always need more room in your Lego city. Another suggestion was that I add in some kind of play feature down here, and I am thinking about different kinds of solutions for that. I like the idea, maybe a small grotto or a treasure hovel, something like that, but it does need a little more thought on my part to figure out what I want to put in there. But I do like the idea, so thanks for that suggestion. But today it's all about adding some market stalls right here and making a small marketplace. And I think the city has gotten a slight touristy, vacation-y feel over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. And I think adding a marketplace like this with our different stands selling different kinds of items, souvenirs, caps, all different kinds of things, I think the touristy feel would be upped just a bit, which would be kind of cool, I think. The good thing about Lego is you can always rebuild if you don't like it, but for now I would love to add in a marketplace right here. So let's get over to the build table and let's get started. This here is the area I have to work with for this little marketplace, and I think there should be plenty of room to add in at least 3, maybe even 4 small stalls here that sells different kinds of things. I'm thinking about a fruit stand, a souvenir stand, and maybe a hat stand or something like that. That would be interesting. There was actually also a suggestion that I add in another layer of bricks in this tower just to give it a little more height, and that's pretty easy to do, so I think I'll start out by doing that and then move on to this market stall thing right here. I've also got to tile this in some way that seems meaningful. I don't know if I should be using round gray tiles, I have a lot of those, or just use more of the standard square tiles. I'll be thinking about that while adding in this layer up here. Yeah, it's true, it does maybe feel a little more proportionate when it is a little taller. So that was a great suggestion, thanks for that. So here we go, on to the small market stalls. Alright, first up for a market stall, I've made a small display stand where I can put stuff loosely up here. It might be different kinds of newspapers and such. This one is a sheet of music, but it could be like that, or it could be for fruit and different kinds of things. And of course it would be pertinent to have it on an angle, which I will be working on now. I do have some ideas, but yeah, let's get on to it. So here we go. I decided to put everything on a plate like this, and to get this on an angle I've used one of these hinged pieces that can bend in all kinds of directions, and oops, that makes it a lot easier to get it on an angle like this. So now we've got a display stand, and I'm thinking some kind of roof, maybe some kind of canopy would be good. I found some green pieces not too long ago that might serve as a nice canopy thing for this little stall right here. But yeah, we'll get moving on this, and we'll see how it all ends up. So this is how it's looking right now. What I did is I took advantage of the studs not on top technique, the snot technique, by putting in a snot brick right here and putting on a plate like this, which will make up the side, and I can add in a studs not on top brick up here as well, which allows me to rotate the roof just a little bit, which would give it a nice look, I think. And it has the added bonus of actually making a little room in here, so I can actually maybe add some shelves or something on the inside as well, which I think would look good. But now for the canopy up here. So here we go, a lovely green and white canopy, and as you can see, it's just a 1x6 plate and those snot bricks here on the ends, attached on both ends like this, and you can actually tip it up and down just a tiny bit. You have to be careful about the plates not hitting each other, but other than that you can actually get in all kinds of different angles. I think a very slight angle looks the best, something like maybe thereabout would look the best, and maybe allow the guy that's going to stand in there a chance to see. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so that's very, very far already for the first stand, and I just have to add the wares at this point, and maybe some shelves here on the inside as well. So yeah, on we go. So here we go, a small fruit stand with apples, berries and bananas, and a very eager banana salesman in here. And of course, there is a big pile of cash that this guy is earning by selling fruit. Of course, fruit costs 100, and they always do. It always seems that stuff in Lego cities costs either 5 or 100 of the Lego money. So I'm guessing that these bananas, these fruits right here, are 100 a piece. So that is definitely our first little market stall, and I think we're gonna put it in right here actually, which will look quite good. There we go. Yep. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Now we just need 1 or 2 more, and we'll have something that resembles a real marketplace. That's nice. All right, so I'm thinking about adding a hat shop, but the hats I found are quite big, all of them, and I'm not sure I can actually fit them into a stall like this. It is quite small, but the good thing about this is I can use some of the hats I wouldn't use on a regular basis and sort of empty out my hat storage just a bit, because it is getting kind of full. So I think I'll try to make a stand that sells hats, however those look. Okay, so the first row right here is actually pretty easy, I've discovered, but what's going to be difficult is adding more behind them. I'm wondering if I could do something else to make more room. This is actually a little more difficult than I would have thought. I've got to think about this, but I like the idea of these three here in front. Maybe there should be smaller hats. No, I do like, maybe if they were just a bit further down, instead of a full brick, maybe just 2 plates. Yeah, I'll try that out. So here we go, a bunch of hats on a rack, and it still looks pretty good. Let's say there's a stand owner right here, and he can stand either on one side, and I can actually add more hats so he can stand sort of in front and sell his wares. And I can also do something so he can stand behind it like this. But I think I like the idea of these hats sort of just going upwards like this. Yeah, so maybe adding another layer would be the way to go here. Yeah, I think so. So I changed my mind just a bit. I want to have the guy standing in here to sell his hats, and I'm working on a canopy now, using some of these studs not on top bricks again, because I have an idea of something that should sort of protrude here in some way. I don't know how and I don't know what yet. I use some of these sloped pieces here on the side to give it this more sort of a, I don't know, just a sloped look. It's what you get when you use a sloped brick, isn't it? A sloped look. So now it's for the canopy I want to do, and yeah, and find somebody to take care of the hat stand. So here we go, a small canopy. And I even managed to get some more hats in here. So this is a nice little novelty hat stand. I think there's a lot of hats here I'm not sure people would use on a regular basis. But for a Lego city, I think this would be fine. And we just need a hat salesman. I think we have someone who wears a hat who might be interested in working here. So yeah, here we go. A hat stand, and there's plenty of room for it right here, which is just great. So of course there is the question of tiling. For now I think I'll stick with the classic square ones, and maybe some of the 1x2s as well, just to be sure to cover up this sand color right here, because I'm not sure I like that here. Maybe see if I can make some kind of pattern with the 1x2s as well. That might look good. So as you can see, I've added a pattern here. I've also put in some jumper plates so we can have pedestrians, maybe a musician standing around down here so there can be customers and such. But now I think it is quite important that I do get this one made in the way that I want it, with the sort of cut into the cliff stairs, because I don't know how to proceed this way now if I don't get this done. So I think actually right now I will be doing this sort of a surprise thing for me, to be changing this for now, because I thought I would wait when I thought a bit more about it. But looks like I'm gonna have to do this now. So yeah, let's try it. Let's see where it goes. All right, I've made room to make a flight of stairs right here, and you might also have noticed that I've taken down the whole thing just one brick, and that's because I want to be able to make a relatively short flight of stairs instead of a longer one, because a longer set of stairs is going to take up more space, whereas a shorter one is of course going to take up less space. So that's why I've shortened it. So now you might be thinking, well, you just added a level up here and then you took the whole thing down a level or a brick. And yeah, that's what happens sometimes. I could of course add in another level underneath here, which might look fine. I don't know, but for now I think I'll leave it as like this, and I can add in another level. That's easy. I mean, adding in another layer of bricks is easy, but building the stairs here is going to be a little bit of a challenge, I think. Somebody also suggested that the lowest layer here should be made of bricks and stones instead of just these like the rest of it, and I tend to agree. So I've added in some gray masonry bricks down here at the bottom just to add a little more flavor to it. So now here we go. This is the stairs we'll be doing right here. So I've built the platform first. This is where the stairs will end up, and I'm thinking they should go this way down here, which I think will look good. And I'm gonna cover up all this with stuff like this, so you won't be able to see the different colors here behind it. Of course, this will be raised. This here will be raised up just a bit to cover everything like this. But yeah, this is definitely the way I want to go with this. So here we got the stairs finished. Now I just need to wrap it all in some of these to make everything look like it is actually cut into the cliffside. Yeah, I know that these steps are maybe a little tall. I could, if I added a plate to each level, would that make it better? No, they would still be pretty tall, but no, I think this is okay. Maybe they are a little bit tall for the minifigures, but I think it's okay, especially because if I had to make it less steep, suddenly the stairs would go all the way down here somewhere, I think, and that wouldn't look as good. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna go with for this. So here we go. I have now wrapped this in a sheet of rock, and I think it looks quite all right, I've got to say. Now I am all out of time for today, so this is unfortunately all I'm gonna make for you today. But I think we made good headway here. Redefining this part of the tower and putting in a couple of stalls here is great progress, I think. Now I just have to figure out if I want to put in another stall or do something completely different right here. But yeah, this is where we got today. So let's see how this looks back in the city. And here we are back in Bakersville, and let's see how it all looks when I slide the new marketplace, or the start of the new marketplace, and the new tower construction in here. There we go. Boom. Yeah, this looks interesting, I think. I hadn't really considered how much it would cover up these storefronts back here, and it's getting kind of bad with this one. This one not so much, but this one is quite tall. Maybe I have to do something with that, or I just have to accept the fact that whatever I build here in front is going to cover up this to some degree, and this will just cover that up. But let's have a look from another angle. And from this angle, it looks kind of interesting, I think. I like that there are a lot of small things going on in the city, and these two are definitely a couple of small things, and all the details on that hat stand is definitely something that's interesting to look at when you look at it from a distance. You've got to come in close to see everything that's going on, which is kind of nice, something that draws you in to have a look at the details. Meanwhile, you can still get the impression of what's going on if you take sort of an overall look at everything. I'm trying to take a look at this without the cliff getting in the way, and look at it from this angle. I think it looks kind of good, to be honest. I like these two stands, and I like how different they are from each other. I think it'll look interesting if I add some more minifigures maybe, so let's try that out. So adding some minifigures looks great, I think. It adds a lot more life to it, and of course these characters are walking around having a look at everything that's going on in the market, maybe buying a banana or a hat. And of course this lamppost right here in front is also a detail. I'm not sure this should be right here though, but for now I like this detail. I actually like these lamps, to be honest. They do look great. So yeah, this is the market as it looks right now. So what I would like you to consider is whether or not I should be changing the hat stand. Is it too tall? And maybe if I should be adding another stand, or whatever I should use that spot of land right here for. What should I be adding? Just maybe more tiles? That's a little boring, I think. Parking lot? Something? I don't know. Any suggestions are welcome on my website, www.brickbakery.fun. So that is my little marketplace for my Lego city. I am fast realizing how little space I actually have. Every time I get an idea of something I want to add, I am constantly reminded of how little space I have when I start building stuff. And the same goes for this. In my mind, I had room for maybe 8 of these. No, that's an exaggeration, but I thought I had much more room to do with than I had. And that's always a problem, I think, with Lego cities. You never really have all the room that you want to have. But other than that, I like these stands. I'm not sure I'm satisfied with the roof of the hat stand, but the fruit stand I think is kind of good actually. But if you have any kind of suggestions, please let me know on my website, www.brickbakery.fun. Now remember, that's .fun to give me suggestions. I would love to hear everything. But that is all for me today, and until next time, I'm Jacob and this is the Brick Bakery.